And the whole point of your self-concept and shifting it is so you get faster transformation. And that's what my channel is all about. So when I read this book, I thought I need to do a bunch of videos. Hey guys, Matt Tait from Fork in the Road, your channel for transformation. Once again, I'm back to old mate Steve Andreas's book, Transforming Yourself, Becoming Who You Want to Be. And so Steve Andreas's book is fascinating. I love the dude on the cover, it always cracks me up how he's chiseling himself out of the rock there. And we're now moving into another area of the self-concept model. Now, if you don't know what the self-concept model is, go and check out the previous videos to get an idea. But the reality is it's your identity, and it's your experiences that have built up your identity. And we're breaking apart the little components you can play with. In the last video, I looked at time and how we put examples in our database, which is your experiences, inside your nervous system. And we used time in the last video. Well, this time we're going to look at some more of the components inside there in content. And so here is another list in one of the examples of the many activities that Steve takes his students through in the seminar, which is what the book is based on. It's based on a seminar on students going through the process. And so here we go. So we've got the content and aspects of your content in the images. So think about the quality of your life. And for me, I'd think about I am wanting to understand people. In particular my clients, but become more curious about everybody, including myself, as to how did those feelings get in the person's field of vision in the first place? How did the beliefs they have about them get in there? How did the identity components, in particular the qualities? So the quality I'm working on, or the one that I'm unpacking for myself, is I love understanding clients, right? So that's my quality. Think about your quality that you would like to understand. Something you know is absolutely all about you. It's something that is part of your identity. You just know you're that thing. Some people, they're very kind. Some people are very confident. Some people, are very inclusive. Some people, whatever the word is, there'll be a quality that you love about yourself, and you've got lots of examples. This is about getting to know your database. So content. First one that we're going through today is perceptual positions. And that's about you, your position, others' position, and the observer position, who's overlooking the whole show. And I'll explain that a little bit later. The second one is specific detail versus a metaphor or a symbol. And so specific detail is great, but sometimes a metaphor can be a great generalization that backs up all of that specific data. Another one is other people, where other people outside of yourself are part of the database. It could be a mentor, it could be someone you watched on TV, it could be someone you admire a lot in your life. Major life contexts. So work would be a major life context. Inside of relationships, another major life context. With your kids, perhaps, or with your parents. There's a lot of different contexts we could look at. And then we have other content distortions and biases, where the content's not the content, we've distorted it somehow, or there's a bias, which is every human being has. So these are some of the elements which are pulled apart as to, you take an example and you can start to look at it. Okay, well, what's an example for me where I feel that I am understanding others? Well, my client sessions is obvious, right? That's the place that I always go. So I've got my client sessions. So we start going through perceptual positions here. I've written some notes and I said, okay, you've got self, other, and observer. Those are the three positions that they talk about. So yes, sure, for myself, I can looking through my own eyes and I can see a Zoom session with a client. Easy. Now, the other position is my client's position in that case, where I'm talking to them and I'm putting myself in their position now and experiencing me talk to them. And it's a good thing to do to experience that, where for a moment you consider the other person's position. And it's very useful in relationships, obviously. In the book, Steve talks about, you've got children and psychopaths that have a similar all through themselves kind of thing, very young children. And then we have those people who give so much that they actually hand their entire soul over to another person because they're only seeing the other person's perspective. And the idea is to have a nice balance of both in any relationship. But then there's the observer position, where you're observing you doing the coaching with your client and say, okay, you start to separate yourself from the moment, get your ego out of it, and start thinking about, well, how can I strengthen this situation by giving my client what they need, by having a really good exchange here. And so the observer position can be really powerful. And so there'll be an image that you can create of observer, of self, and of other. And for a nice balance, Steve suggests that the images should be all about the same size. They should be all on the same level, not that you put one above the other. Otherwise, you'll put someone ahead of you, or you'll put you ahead of them. And it's about trying to keep it all on a level kind of playing field when you've got those images with your closed eyes. And same size, same brightness, same level in your field of vision, as an example. And it shifts how it feels in the body. It's quite bizarre. So give it a go for any examples in your database. Think about yourself, think about other people, and think about the observer position and how your perception changes with those images all equal in your database. Very, very interesting. Then we've got, for myself, I was looking at, okay, well, I'm trying to understand others, and I've got my perceptual positions. And I've got my, what have I said? Self, yes, through own eyes, I've said with Zoom. So, yep, I'm looking through my own eyes at my client, and I'm coaching them. The observer, I'm looking, it's very new having the observer there, where he's, it's a he because it's me. I've floated above myself, and I'm seeing myself coaching, and I'm seeing my client experiencing my coaching. And then, of course, it's great to put yourself in the client's position for a moment to think, well, how is it for them in that moment? And you can pick up a lot of that by watching their non-verbal cues as to how they're experiencing it. It's a bit of a mind read, but it's a very good exercise to go through. And adding all of this into your database is helpful. That's perceptual positions. The next one, when I looked at it from the client's perspective, it added power to the example to recall their words in the session. And thinking about things and viewing it from their angle, the thing I got out of that was clarity, that this became even stronger, this sense of wanting to understand others, which I thought was a useful and valuable thing. So that is a fantastic little session there. And then, of course, we've got the other ones in here, and I won't go into that in this video. I'll do another one on detail versus metaphoric, other people, major life context, and other content distortions, because they're quite deep. But today we've looked at the perceptual positions, and how when you put them into your database of memories, of experiences from the past, put them into the present moment as well, put them into the future, which is using the last video, but bringing them forward so that you can get that sense of clarity, get that sense of strengthening your quality, and as a result, backing up that self-concept and that identity. I hope that is helpful. This is Matt from Fork in the Road. We've just explored perceptual positions and how to get clarity and strengthen your self-concept. That's your identity, so you can get more out of life. Matt Tait from Fork in the Road, YouTube channel, your channel for transformation. As always, click on the little button, bottom right-hand corner, and you'll get my videos on a regular basis for free as a subscriber to the YouTube channel. love the content, love the book from Steve Andreas. I hope you're getting value from it. I'm getting so much value doing these videos, and it's helping me in my life. I hope it helps you in yours. See you next time.